Deep in the wilds of Papua New Guinea lies a world of terror and mystery in its shadowy jungles, and chilling discoveries have left even the bravest explorers shaken, from cannibalistic tribes to deadly creatures and ghostly rituals. Welcome to a brand new video. These 11 terrifying encounters defy explanation and blur the line between legend and nightmare. If you like this type of content, subscribe to our channel, it's free. Now, let's get started. Number 11. Asaro Mudmen. The Mudmen of the Asaro tribe of Papua New Guinea, also called Hosa, are known for their unique tradition of wearing masks made of mud and covering themselves with white clay. The idea was to dress people up as ghosts so that their enemies would be frightened. These masks are a central part of their traditional costume. The Asaro people live near Goroka in the eastern highlands province of Papua New Guinea. There are many different stories about how they came to be, and anthropologist Pod Otto noted that there are as many versions of the creation legend as there are storytellers. One folktale tells of a time when the Asaro tribe was defeated in battle by an enemy tribe in order to escape. They hid in the muddy waters of the Asaro River, and while hiding, they encountered a mysterious man who gave them the power to kill with just a glance. As night fell, the Asaro tried to sneak away, but one of them was captured when he emerged from the mud completely covered in mud. The enemy thought he was a ghost and fled in terror. In Papua New Guinea, many tribes are very afraid of spirits, so the enemy believed they had encountered something supernatural. Terrified, they returned to their village and performed a special ritual to keep the spirits away. The Asaro people could not cover their faces with river mud because it was thought to be poisonous. They made masks using hot stones and water from a nearby waterfall. Another version of the story suggests that the tradition began when someone attending a wedding could not find the right costume, so they improvised with mud and masks. The masks themselves are quite striking, with unique designs including long or short ears that reach down to the chin, or long upward pointing eyebrows that connect to the ears, horns, and sideways mouths. Number 10. Giant rats of Manus Island. Scientists have recently discovered a previously unknown species of rat called Rattus detenus that has lived in isolation on Manus Island for centuries. The name detenus is derived from the Latin word for detainee, reflecting both the rat's long isolation on the island and the island's recent history as a detention centre for asylum seekers trying to reach Australia. The species was first described by an international team of scientists, including Professor Tim Flannery, a renowned Australian paleontologist and musher. Tim, who has been searching for this rat for 30 years, described his discovery as exciting and a great honour. Rattus detenus is truly unique and is only known to inhabit 2 specific areas on Manus Island. It is what Flannery calls a giant island, larger than almost any other rat found in the Melanesian archipelago. A typical detenus weighs around half a kilogram and has short, very coarse fur along with a short tail. Over thousands of years of isolation, the species has adapted to its environment. It has developed a strong front on calipers, probably used to crack open hard nuts, while smaller limbs suggest a specialized diet before its formal identification. Scientists had long suspected that a unique, large rat lived on Manus Island. This suspicion was confirmed after 3 specimens were collected on Manus between 2002 and 2012. These were compared to ancient rat remains found at an archaeological site on the island, confirming that detenus has long resided on Manus. The choice of the name detenus was also symbolic in their scientific paper. The researchers explained that the name honors both the rat's isolation on Manus Island and the island's recent use as a detention centre for people seeking asylum in Australia. Tim suggested the name, and his colleagues quickly agreed that they wanted to send a message of solidarity to those detained at the detention centre, a way of saying, "You are not forgotten." However, sightings of Rattus detenus are rare, and it may be critically endangered. Residents report that the rat was once seen on Manus, and even on nearby Los Negros Island, which is connected to Manus by a bridge. But recent efforts by zoologists to locate the rat have been unsuccessful, raising concerns about its survival. Tim and his team fear that its habitat is being lost to agriculture, feral cats, or at risk of diseases brought by other rat species introduced to the island. Number 09. The tree houses of the Korowai tribes. The Korowai tribe lives in the southern part of Papua, a region surrounded by high mountains and bordered by two large rivers. The Korowai are especially known for their unique lifestyle. They build their homes high up in the trees, sometimes as high as 40 m, using these elevated structures to stay safe from wild animals and evil spirits. The Korowai even fear Lilio, mysterious beings they believe walk like the undead and roam at night. All outsiders, including other Papuans, are called Lilio by the Korowai. Despite the enormous challenges of building and maintaining these high tree houses, the Korowai people are very dedicated to preserving their traditions. They believe that the higher the house, the better the protection from evil forces, which is why they carefully choose the strongest and tallest trees to be the foundation of their unique homes. To build these tree houses, the Korowai begin by choosing a suitable tree, removing its branches, and using the strong trunk as a frame. The walls and roofs are made from natural materials such as leaves and bark. However, these houses are not permanent, usually lasting only 3 years as the natural materials gradually decay. The Korowai hunt and gather food from the forest and also raise pigs and dogs. They have great social importance and are only killed during special ceremonies, while dogs are important for hunting. One of the most surprising parts of the Korowai culture is their history of cannibalism, living without modern science. The Korowai once believed that unexplained deaths were caused by kaka demons who could take human form and pretend to be friends or family. To protect the tribe, it was normal to capture, kill, and eat anyone who was considered a kaka. The belief was that by eating the flesh of these enemies, they could gain their power and strength. Until 1975, the Korowai had little or no contact with the outside world, knowing only of their fellows. However, today, they are more open to visitors who come to learn about their special way of life. Number 8. Giant sea worms. In the deep and mysterious waters of Papua New Guinea lives a creature that has haunted the dreams of many. These are no ordinary worms. They are giant sea worms that stretch to an incredible 10 feet in length. They swim through the clear ocean, but coming face to face with one of these massive creatures is a terrifying threat. True enough, their size alone is enough to make you shiver, but it is their sting that truly terrifies. A single touch from these giant worms can deliver a sting so painful it leaves even the bravest divers in agony. For locals, these sea worms have become the stuff of legends. They are whispered in stories meant to keep children safe, but for those who have seen them up close, the tales are all too real. The giant sea worms of Papua New Guinea are not just a part of the underwater world. They are a living nightmare lurking in the depths, ready to strike fear into the hearts of anyone who dares venture too close. Number 7. Witchcraft trials. In Papua New Guinea, belief in witchcraft is so strong that accusations can lead to horrific violence and even murder of people suspected of committing it. Witch doctors, known locally as glass Mars, make a living by pointing the finger at alleged witches. Once accused, these individuals are cast out of their communities and become outcasts. Witchcraft and sorcery are deeply rooted in Papua New Guinean culture and history. These hunts, targeting mainly women, stem from accusations of practicing dark magic known as sangama with harmful intentions. In 2012, the Law Reform Commission reported that witchcraft-related attacks had been on the rise since the 1980s, with Simu province alone seeing more than 150 cases of witch hunting a year. Local activists estimate that more than 50,000 people have been driven from their homes due to such accusations. Witch hunting in Papua New Guinea varies from region to region, reflecting the country's rich ethnic diversity. However, the trigger is often the same, occurring with the illness or death of a loved one. Grieving families and villagers look for someone to blame. They often target those they suspect of causing bad luck through witchcraft. The violence that follows is often extreme, with accused witches subjected to prolonged physical, emotional, and sexual torture in the most extreme forms. In severe cases, he kills them using brutal methods, such as burning them alive, a practice that still occurs today. Number 6. Chimbu skeleton dancers. Located at the base of Wilhelm Mountain, the highest mountain in Papua New Guinea, The Chimbu tribe lives very close to each other as a community. In their daily lives, families take care of their pigs and other animals and tend small vegetable gardens. Since missionaries arrived in the 1930s, there have been many changes in the region, but one thing that has remained the same is the extraordinary and unforgettable tradition of the tribe. They called the skeleton Sing Sing. Local stories say that the Chimbu ancestors were afraid to go into the forest to hunt, gather, or farm because they believed that a ghost that lived on the mountain would come down and eat them. To protect themselves and feel safe on Earth, they created the skeleton in order to scare away the ghosts. Several explain that to this day they no longer believe in the ghost, but if you go to the cave on the mountain, you will still see it full of human bones. In the Chimbu tribe, marriages are very traditional. Each groom receives a piece of land to build a house and start a garden. Before the wedding, each family performs a sing-sing describing the other family. After marriage, the wife takes on all the household chores she has learned from her mother. The Chimu follow the custom of waiting until a child is fully grown before having another. This tradition passed down from our ancestors is considered very wise. Number 05. Mysterious deaths in the Star Mountains. The expedition to the Star Mountains are a mountain range located in western Papua New Guinea and the eastern part of the Papuan Highlands in Indonesia. This mountain range stretches from the eastern side of Indonesia to the Hindenburg Range in Papua New Guinea. During the 1950s, an expedition to the Star Mountains ended in a series of mysterious disappearances and deaths. Some people think that inclement weather or conflicts with the local population might have been responsible, but no one knows for sure what caused these troubling events. In April 1959, a Dutch expedition led by Jan Sneep, a colonial official working in the area, set out to explore these mountains. The team set out to map the area and learn about the local population. They used 2 small helicopters for their trip, but the high altitudes made flying difficult and one of the helicopters crashed. Number 04. Papuan Black Snake. The Papuan black snake is a very dangerous snake found in New Guinea. It can grow up to about 2 m long and is mostly black with a grey color on the underside. It belongs to the Elapidae family and is one of several species known as black snakes within its genus. This snake has the strongest venom of all the black snakes in its genus. Unlike other black snakes, its venom primarily affects the nervous system, causing muscle weakness and paralysis within 2 to 21 hours after a bite. The venom contains a specific neurotoxin called Papuan toxin, which can be treated with CSL black snake antivenom, which is also used for the king brown snake. In the central province of Papua New Guinea, this snake is much feared, but it only causes a small number of snake bites compared to other more dangerous species. Identifying the snake after a bite is difficult because victims are often bitten while walking through tall grass and may not see the snake. People call it ama, which means to bite again because of its tendency to bite multiple times. Some local New Guineans believe that the Papuan black snake and the taipan are opposite sexes of the same species. The Key people believe that the snake is a tool of a magical figure sent to harm enemies. So bitten people often seek help from a magical man rather than going to a hospital, which may delay critical treatment. Australian herpetologist Ken Slater was the first to collect venom from the Papuan black snake for scientific study. In the mid-1950s, he sent it to the Commonwealth Serum Laboratories in Melbourne for venom research. This antidote proved effective not only against the black snake, but also against the king brown snake. Number 03. Cannibalism practices. In Papua New Guinea, some tribes like the Fore used to eat their deceased relatives and believed that this practice showed respect and love, prevented the bodies from rotting or being eaten by insects, and protected them from evil spirits. Cannibalism was in fact part of the life of the Korowai tribe, who thought that eating the flesh of their enemies was a way of getting revenge. Today, cannibalism has probably mostly disappeared in places where outsiders have moved. Although it is not clear if some hidden tribes still practice it, however, there is a natural aversion to cannibalism, which suggests that it is not a good idea in the long term. Number 02. The bowerbird. The bowerbird is a medium-sized bird that lives in the mountainous regions of western Papua New Guinea. Despite being one of the flatter members of the bowerbird family, With its olive-brown feathers and lack of flashy colors, it is noted for something truly special: the amazing homes they build. These birds are known for creating some of the most elaborate homes amongst all other birds. The male builds a remarkable cone-shaped hut with a carefully designed entrance supported by pillars of sticks. In front of this entrance, the male meticulously cleans the area, covering it with moss and adorning it with a variety of vibrant decorations. These decorations include colorful flowers, small beetle wings, fruit, dead leaves, and any other eye-catching items he can find, all artistically arranged to attract a mate. Bowerbirds are constantly on the go. They seek out the most eye-catching decorations to add to their homes, often replacing older items to keep their displays in tip-top condition. They compete fiercely with their neighbors, trying to outshine each other with more dazzling and unique decorations. Unlike other bird species, this one has no specific color preference. Rather, the novelty and rarity of the items is what counts. If a male finds something unusual, it can become a trend, but these rare finds are often targeted for theft by rival males, which the females visit. Females, if impressed by the display, will choose to mate with the male. However, the male's role ends there, as he does not participate in raising the birds. Number 1. The Agogwe. The Agogwe, sometimes called Kundari in Zimbabwe or Colomba in the Congo, is a mysterious creature that resembles a human and is said to roam the dense forests and jungles of East Africa. The first known sighting of this elusive being occurred in the 20th century when Captain William Hitchens claimed to have seen it. The Agogwe is a small, human-like figure, usually between 2 and 5 feet tall. It has many human-like features, but also some unusual traits. Its body is covered in rusty-colored hair, beneath which lies yellowish-red or sometimes copper-toned skin. The creature is also said to have long arms and feet that measure approximately 12 centimeters. Compared to a modern chimpanzee, the Agogwe has a more rounded forehead, smaller but sharper teeth, and a distinctive hair and skin color. Captain Hitchens first saw the Agogwe in the forests on the western edge of the plains. Decades later, in the late 1950s in Tanzania, another sighting was reported by Charles Cordier, a professional animal collector who claimed to have seen the Agogwe caught in one of his bird traps, but it managed to escape before he could get a closer look. Some believe the Agogwe might be a surviving species of an ancient primate that lived about 2.5 million years ago and is thought to be one of the earliest ancestors of humans. We've reached the end of this video. Tell us what you think in the comments box. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss future videos like this one. See you next time.